Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. This week on In Touch, I speak with Jocelyn Zimmer, president of Zimmer Brothers Jewelers. Jocelyn represents the fifth generation running the local company, which is celebrating over 130 years of serving the Hudson Valley. Jocelyn was recently recognized by Hudson Valley Magazine as one of the top women in business for 2023. We talk about her experience with that recognition and all the things that led up to it, including supporting local vendors and artisans, promoting women in business, and nurturing the stories of each customer who walks through their doors. This episode especially is important for anyone trying to plan ahead for Valentine's Day. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded conversation between Jocelyn and myself here on In Touch. Thank you for all the kind words shared in regard to In Touch officially being awarded the 2023 New York State Broadcasters Association Award for Outstanding Public Affairs Program or Series as part of the 57th Annual Excellence in Broadcasting Awards. This recognition would not be possible without the incredible team here at Townsquare, all of our phenomenal guests that we learn and grow with every single week, and of course you, the listener. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just found us, thank you for taking part in the conversation and staying in touch with what's going on in the Hudson Valley. We here at In Touch are all about, well, being in touch with what's going on in the Hudson Valley. What better way to stay in touch with what's going on than by downloading the Townsquare Media mobile app for this radio station? Not only can you listen to this station live at any time using the app, but you can also listen to In Touch on demand. Besides In Touch, you can read daily articles about news, events, entertainment, and more that's going on in your community. And when the weather gets bad, you can use the app to check on weather reports and see which roads, schools, and organizations are closed. Your Townsquare Media app is the best place for concert tickets and events as well. We're constantly giving away tickets to the hottest shows in the area. Again, you'll have access to all of this if you just download the Townsquare Media mobile app for this radio station. In Touch is nothing without the support of the hundreds of listeners that we get on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for listening and taking part in the conversation. If you listen to In Touch through a podcast service such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a positive review. With more 5-star reviews on these platforms, the algorithms will work hard to promote our show and bring In Touch to new people. That and also sharing In Touch with your friends and family is so important. Just sharing our links and listening live each Sunday goes such a long way. Thank you for all you do to stay in touch with what's going on in the Hudson Valley. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program, and we got a great episode for you guys today. With me, I have the president of Zimmer Brothers Jewelers, Jocelyn Zimmer, fifth generation, and it's been around for 130 years in the Hudson Valley with multiple locations. She was just recognized by Hudson Valley Magazine as one of the Hudson Valley's top women in business, and there is a lot that has gone into that. And we were talking before we got on the mic about the stories that go into every purchase, every person who's gone through the business. It's really incredible, and I'm so excited to talk with her today for her first radio interview, we were saying before, too. So, Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here on In Touch.
Thanks so much, Connor. My pleasure.
Absolutely. So one thing that we do with pretty much everybody, we start off the episode with an overview of who we're talking to in the organization. So could you just give us a little overview on Zimmer Brothers for people who may be unfamiliar, even though you guys have quite the reputation in the Hudson Valley, but
Sure.
Please go into that for us.
Of course. So, Zimmer Brothers Jewelers was started in 1893 right here in Poughkeepsie, right off of Main Street in Poughkeepsie. And we have been owned and operated by the same family for the last, actually, this year will be 131 years.
There you go.
And I am fifth generation. So it was my great-great-grandparents who started the business.
And that's really impressive, especially because so many family businesses, I was reading a statistic, they say only 3% make it past a fourth generation. That's mind-boggling of a statistic, but incredible for you guys to be here reaching this fifth and doing as well as you are and easily going to continue going down the line, which that's awesome. So kudos to you guys on that. As I mentioned a moment ago, you were just recently recognized by Hudson Valley Magazine as one of the Hudson Valley's top women in business. And I want to start off with that because there's so many reasons why you are. But first, I would just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank
but
you.
also I want to learn, what was that experience like for you?
I found out that I was nominated, then got a letter that I received one of I believe there were 18 women recognized this year, in 2023 rather, because it comes up at the end of the year in that December issue. I was just completely shocked and excited because to be recognized in that way is just extraordinary, I think, and especially in this area, especially with some of the other amazing women that I was, standing alongside.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very successful, and just a really fun group of women. And I think they had over 400 or 450 nominations.
Wow.
So I feel like it was really quite an honor.
That really is impressive. And when it came to the recognition, they held an event in December as well where everybody could get together and celebrate you guys. What was that like? Did you know many of the other women? Was this the first time that you got to connect with them? What was that like, being in person with everybody?
Oh, that's a great question. So we actually all met at a photo shoot for the magazine article.
That's so cool.
Yep. And so I was able to I'm very social, I'm talking to everyone. So, and most of the women were. It was a very comfortable environment. It was at the Roundhouse in Beacon. Yeah. So I really met a lot of them at that event first. And then we kind of exchanged numbers, we found each other on the gram and whatever. And so kind of connected in that way so that when we got to the event, we did know each other. And there was one interesting story. One of the women, Greta, that was being honored alongside of me, I noticed her necklace and I said, oh, I think that necklace is one from us. It was a faux pay necklace, which is this Italian designer we carry. Very beautiful, kind of understated, but very recognizable if you know it.
Okay.
If you know, you know. And I said, I think that's from us. And so she said, oh, my mother gave it to me. And as soon as, talking about the stories, as soon as she said that, I knew exactly what the story behind it. And it was a beautiful story. It was her, her mother, and I hope she's okay with me telling this. I think she would be. But she, her mother had given it to her because she wanted to recognize how successful, her daughter was, because she had started her own business. So she was wearing it sort of as her power necklace, in a sense. And in one of the photos, they did individual shots of us and also groups. And the photographer didn't know anything. They were basically, I think, picking the group shots based on what people were wearing that went together. And we ended up standing next to each other in one of the group shots. So it really, I think that kind of stuff is so cool. And it kind of came full circle. And the event kind of felt a little like a little mini Academy Award because you get called up and, you get the award. And I was last because I was Z.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Yeah. So it was cool though because I got to kind of relax and see everyone else go up. And then, they said, oh, last but not least, and, announced my name. And then I had brought about probably at least 40 people.
Oh, wow.
In support. Yeah. All of my friends, we closed the store for half the day. I brought my entire staff, and a lot of people just showed up for me, which was like awesome. And I think it's just this great network of women. It wasn't only women, but it was mostly women. So that was cool too.
That really is incredible. And I just want to highlight something you said there. You brought the whole staff. That is big, because it is a team effort, and the fact that you can celebrate and recognize this accomplishment with them. So many times, when we're working towards something, it is not just a sole effort. It takes a village. So the fact that you brought them along, they were there to support you, everybody was together. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. That is so cool.
Yep.
And I'm sure it must be great, like working alongside you and be able to build this empire with you. And now that, talking about the recognition, want to travel back a little bit. What led to this recognition and the amazing things that you do? Again, we said 5th generation in the family business. You are very big on elevating women in the jewelry business. You partner with local artisans, I've seen. You do a lot of great stuff. So could you tell us about, let's first start talking about the importance of elevating women in your business and some of the importance and things that you do along those lines.
Sure. One of the things in my business, my store, in particular is we have a staff of all women, with the exception of my father, who is still in the business. He was the president until he passed that along to me. So he's the chairman now of the business. And we always historically have had mostly women salespeople, and in our service area, maybe one man or so, not including our jewelers and people that, manufacture for us. But in the actual store, it's mostly women. And so that's at the heart of probably me wanting to really, I'm surrounded by women and their stories. And I have 2 daughters as well who are coming up in the world, and I'm trying to help them sort of by being a positive role model, working and being, supporting other women. I want them to see that it's possible to have a job you love where you're supported and you can be happy and have that balance. And that's the environment that I am, creating in our store. And we have also a couple of mother-daughter teams that work for us. Sometimes it's seasonal, but so we're really a family. And so getting back to why we closed the store on December 7th for half the day, which is unheard of in my history of my business.
Wow.
Brought everyone there, but where would I be without them? It's nothing. So they're truly at the heart of my business.
That's incredible. I love that. And it's sweet that you mentioned your daughters in particular. Any chance or idea if they might want to get into the family business themselves, or are they looking outward?
They're definitely looking elsewhere and outward.
That's fine.
My oldest daughter is at Dutchess Community College. She graduated last year.
Nice.
And so she just finished her first semester, and, she's studying business, marketing, sort of along the lines of what, kind of what I do and everything. Yeah. But she's definitely like I was, where I think to a point, it's like she's so used to it. She wants something fresh and different. So it would always be here for her, if she wanted to come in or when she wants to come in, but there's no pressure at all.
Yeah. And what you said about learning business, she'd be able to learn a lot from you guys anyway, even if it wasn't
around the dinner table.
You. Exactly.
Right.
So much going on, and it just kind of bleeds through in just everyday life. So that's awesome.
And she, and that being said, I think they're just announcing it now in their newsletter, but I'm a graduate of Dutchess Community College as well, because I went back to school after we talked earlier about me going to music school and having sort of a career in music before the jewelry business. But I was able to this year establish an endowment at Dutchess for a scholarship that is the Zimmer Brothers Women in Business Scholarship.
Nice.
Which will be awarded to one woman every year. The criteria you can find on the website. But they'll be announcing that and they pick who it will go to in the spring.
That's amazing.
So
is this the first year then?
This is the first year.
Wow.
Yep. We just inked that kind of commitment with them. And so I'm really excited about that. So every year I'll be able to be helping someone, a woman who's studying business locally.
Help them with their education. That's huge. That is so huge. And I love that you're able to do that. That's incredible. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking with Jocelyn Zimmer of Zimmer Brothers Jewelers, talking about her wonderful recognition when it came to being one of the top women in business in the Hudson Valley, according to Hudson Valley Magazine, talking about networking with those other women, talking about the event, but also why elevating women in business is so important in the ways that she's doing it, in ways such as the new scholarship that's going to be going on at Dutchess Community College, which I just learned that's awesome that's going on. I think that's really cool. So continuing on about supporting people in the Hudson Valley and things along those lines, you guys with Zimmer Brothers also partner up with a lot of local artisans and a lot of local designers, and you really strive for having that local connection. So can you tell us about the connections that you made, some of the people you work with, and why you really focus on that?
Sure. Well, whenever possible, of course, it's important. Being in small business, I understand the importance of keeping it in the community and trying to, beef up any kind of support that we can give within just our own community. I've done partnerships with a bunch of different either designers or artisans. This past fall and winter, we showcased Terrell Gable, who's a painter, a Hudson Valley painter.
Ooh, okay.
I've known for years. She was voted one of Hudson Valley's best painters
really?
as well one
Fantastic.
year. And she does extraordinary oil paintings of the Hudson Valley region. Some of her work is hung in Vassar College, in the Beekman Arms, and you when you see it, you would know it. We worked together maybe 10 years ago, so I had her back for our 130th anniversary, and she has a show currently hanging in our Poughkeepsie store that will be wrapping up probably in the next month or so. But
That's so impressive.
Yeah, but she's wonderful, and it's a win-win for both of us, to support each other, and our clients love it. And I work with another local designer. She's across the river. Her name is Rachel Atherley. She's a jewelry designer.
Nice.
And when I met her, I actually did not know she lived over in the Saugerties area, over across there. She's from Montana originally, and her designs are very beautiful, natural. They really spoke to me, and I was so excited. And then I met her at one of the shows and was just talking with her, and she said, "You're in Poughkeepsie, in Rhinebeck. I'm right across the river, And so it's been cool to partner with her, and I consider that local as well. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Hudson Valley, wide region, but still very local. And you're like, come on. This radio station, we span from as far north as Albany and as far south as Westchester. So that's the Hudson Valley to us. So that's so cool. And that's awesome that it's not just solely just jewelry either, that you're able to share the art and beef up everything for everybody, the people who come into your stores, their experience. It's just enhancing everybody's experience with it all. So that's so cool. Now, one thing that I do want to bring up, it's almost Valentine's Day already, which is kind of nuts to talk about. It was just the holidays, and we're already getting into it. I did so good for my girlfriend for Christmas, and now I'm like, oh shoot, what am I going to do now? I have no more ideas.
Right.
It's all gone. But want to ask you about stuff that you guys see around Valentine's Day. Any special deals you may offer, anything that people should keep in mind when looking for their loved ones. But then also, at the same time, the story aspect of how we were getting into it before, the stories that people come to you about. And it's how incredible and unique and one of a kind each story is. So many people are going to be watching all these romance movies for Valentine's Day, and how one of a kind and unique those are. And you get to hear those romance stories almost on a daily basis, multiple times a day. So could you get us a little bit into what Valentine's Day season is like for Zimmer Brothers?
Sure. I love love. So I love hearing all these stories. One of my favorite parts of the business, which I'm not at the forefront anymore, unfortunately, being, in more of a presidential role and more administration and things, but is selling engagement rings. And it really is a big time for that. We just launched our Legacy collection, which we have our Legacy diamonds, we have our Legacy settings. You can go on our website and find out more about that. But that's I'm really excited about that, and people love the story behind that. But if it's not an engagement ring, we have our Valentine's Day gift guide, which is you can find on our social and also on our website, which will just give you an easy way to navigate through some ideas. You can search by price point. It can be, $100. It can be $100,000. Whatever you want. We have everything. But that's a good way to kind of not be overwhelmed by it and sort of be able to choose something. But if you come into our store, Connor, you tell us a little bit about your girlfriend. That's the nice thing about shopping at a store like ours. Our salespeople are so excited to hear your story, get to know what really are you looking for, and make it. You might tell them one little piece of it, and they have this idea that you would have never thought of that will connect sort of the whole thing. That's something I love seeing every day. And, it's exciting. It keeps it, fun too.
Absolutely. I think that's amazing, especially because you guys are experts on that stuff. The regular person, we don't know jewelry. And you're right, just the littlest thing could be able to help out. I'll share a quick story with you. One of my first major relationships that I had, I didn't know what to get, but I wanted to get something special, piece of jewelry. And I worked with the jeweler, and we were able to come across this heart-shaped necklace, which had the gemstone of the month that we got together, the birthstone of that month and thought it was like, oh my God, this is perfect.
That's
this
what
is
I'm
the
talking
sweetest
about.
thing.
Right.
So I know. So when you said it's like those little things, those little things in the stories, it's like somebody was able to help me with that. So just imagine how often you guys help out so many people that way.
You have the intention, but you may not know how to have the spark and put it together. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you just reminded me of that. So
very romantic.
So cool.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, I tried.
Right.
A lot of my stuff recently has been more event based. That's the way that my girlfriend and I are. And but one of these days, I'm going to have to get her a nice piece of jewelry. I'll have to stop by. Absolutely. Maybe this Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and
I would love it.
That'd be perfect.
Love it.
Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking with Jocelyn Zimmer from Zimmer Brothers Jewelers, talking about the wonderful things that they got going on, especially around this season, Valentine's Day season. Oh my God, still weird to mention is like, we just got through the holidays. But you got a lot to look into there. They have a lot of stuff on their website for you guys to check out. But not just that, the way that they really enhance local business, not just for themselves, but other people in the Hudson Valley. And I think that's incredible. Jocelyn, I really appreciate you being here. Before we wrap up, though, how do people find you? Tell us about your locations. Sure. Where should people go online? Should they follow you on social media? Where can people find all these things?
Yes, you can Google Zimmer Brothers and find everything pretty easily in our little Google Square, whatever that box is.
Yep.
Where you can get to our website, zimmerbrothers.com. You can find our Instagram. It's at ZBJewels. You can also search Zimmer Brothers. We're the only Zimmer Brothers Jewelers. At Facebook, Zimmer Brothers Jewelers, 1893, I believe, is our actual line. And our stores our main flagship store is in Poughkeepsie on Raymond Avenue, right near Vassar College. And you might know it. Some people might know it we have the big red bow on it. It's a pretty iconic building. It is iconic.
Yep. Actually, I brought my girlfriend around to that area and pointed that out. It's like, see that? That's so cute. So yeah, we got to see
Christmas
all that.
Lights.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to know. I hear. Actually, a couple people told me that this year. I love that.
Yeah.
That's part of the story.
Yeah, she's not from the area, so I had to show her around everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. So, and then we have a boutique store in Rhinebeck, which is right across from the Foster's parking lot, right past the light, right on the main on Route 9.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great locations. You guys do so many great things. And before we officially end this episode, do you have any last little nugget that you want to leave our In Touch listeners with? Anything, especially like along the lines of like the stories that people come in with? Anything about that?
Well, I would say I would love to thank any listener who's been in our store and given us business and that has shared their story with us.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just so important, and it really makes the legacy of what we do go on.
Yeah, because it's not just 130 years of Zimmer Brothers, but it's been 130 years of all these love stories, and whether that's love, whether that's loss, however that love transcends, that's 130 years of that for so many people here in the Hudson Valley. So that's amazing.
It's really special, and I'm really honored to be able to be at the helm of this business. Yeah.
Truly, quite a legacy that you guys have. And of course, all links and information will be in the description of this episode. So if you want to check out anything that we mentioned already, check out any locations, look at stuff online ahead of time, you can do so by going to our apps and website. Again, Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here on In Touch.
Thanks, Connor. It was my pleasure.
Awesome. This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Jocelyn Zimmer. For more info on Zimmer Brothers Jewelers, please visit zimmerbrothers.com. Of course, all information can be found in the description of this episode. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just joined us, thank you. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Townsquare radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. If you like what we do here on In Touch and want to be on the show, let us know. Whether you have a topic you want to discuss or you want to be a guest, you can fill out the In Touch submission form, which can be found in the description of this episode. I've been your host, Connor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time